Marhaba, and welcome to Culture Capsule. I'm your host, Samar Karam, greeting you from Abu Dhabi, the capital of the United Arab Emirates, a country known for its strong leadership and its multicultural society. In this space, we're going to explore culture and the ultimate human side of global business. Today's conversation is with a global citizen and accomplished leader whose career is shaped by working across cultures. He has lived in and worked in 6 different countries across 4 continents, building brands that resonate with consumers worldwide. Through his career, he has contributed to leading global companies, including Kenvue, J&J, Boehringer Ingelheim, Unilever, and Danone. He is well known for crafting strategies that work well with multicultural workplaces. With his strong academic background in economics, marketing, and finance, he has navigated complex markets and diverse teams with remarkable agility. Joining us today from Dubai is Julio Cesar Do Monte, Area Vice President of Kenvue in Middle East, Russia, Africa, and Turkey. And I hope I didn't forget anything, Julio.
Very good. Samar, good afternoon, and thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
How was your day today?
Very good. Can't complain. Very
Excellent.
good.
Excellent. Thank you for joining us and joining Culture Capsule. And I'm going to skip the warm-up, and I'm going to dive in your career. Correct me if I'm wrong, you started in finance, right?
Correct. Yes,
Fantastic.
that's all began.
All the magic began there. Okay. So then you took a risk and switched to trade and marketing, correct?
Correct.
So you decided to redesign your future, totally understandable. Professionals do that. Now the question is, how, as a leader, you could recognize taking this leap of faith? What happened?
Yeah, so it's a very good question, Samar. And to be very honest, at that time, it was not intentional. And I didn't really plan for it. I think growing up, I was always very curious. I always wanted to learn more. I always wanted to understand above and beyond my immediate area of responsibility. And that's why I took that leap of faith. Again, I was working in finance. I had this great opportunity to move to trade marketing, completely different department, different skill sets. And I say, why not? I'm actually quite interested to understand how the things work on the other side. So I moved from finance to trade market, and it has been a remarkable experience, full of learnings that, again, up to today, it helps me with my career.
Okay. So when you moved to marketing, did you feel that that is your passion, that this is really what I've been looking for?
Yes, absolutely. So when I moved to market, it was quite interesting because it's a unique department where you need different set of skills to succeed.
Yes.
You need to understand your consumer extremely well, but also you need to be equally equipped to understand your customer, your trade partners. You need to understand the broader socio-economic context, as well as macroeconomics and culture. Culture plays a big role because we know that we as humans and consumers, what we consume and how we behave is strongly related to culture. So I found it a fascinating discipline with broader implications in life. And again, that I could connect not only the business side, but also the personal side. So yes, you can definitely say that I fall in love with marketing and working with marketing. And that's where I spend most of my professional career.
Fantastic. So since you brought up culture now, let's talk about this. And please help me out here. So you moved from Brazil to UK.
Correct.
From UK to Germany or Indonesia, which was first?
Yes,
Indonesia?
Germany first, then
Germany first, then
yes.
Indonesia.
Correct.
So UK, Germany, Indonesia, and then let's say it was South Africa.
Yeah, so actually I went back to Brazil for a while, and went back to Germany again for the second time, and to South Africa for a couple of years, and now
UAE.
in Dubai, yes.
In Dubai, okay. So after so many international experiences, and you went back to the same countries again. I have I have to ask you this. Is expatriate life addictive?
It is. And I say that to everyone, right? It is addictive. And I tell you why. And I try to explain, when people ask me this question, Samar, I try to rationalize and explain why it's addictive, right? It is addictive because you get used to the news. You get used to always being thrown in a big amount of new news, not only professionally, but personally as well, right? So every time you make a move to a different country, a different culture, there is so much you learn from a professional point of view, a different consumer, like I was talking before, a different way of doing business etiquette, the way that the go-to-market works, and etc. But also from the personal side, you learn so much by living with people from different walks of life, from different beliefs, different cultural backgrounds. And that is so rich. And you get addicted to that. And if you look at my career, I have spent usually 3 to 3.5 years in each country before I move again. And then now what happened is by the time I'm approaching that timeline, I start to get bored, right? Because I say, oh, now I already know how this place works. I already know the culture. I already know the people and etc. I need more now. It's time to learn something new. So you do get addicted to that life of changing, to always have new news and different challenges in your life. I think when you spend a lot of time in the same place, it's natural. You get used to things. You start to slowly slide into your comfort zone because you already know you have been there for so long. So I think craving for that change, craving for that new challenge, it's really addictive and I love it.
Okay, so I know that you're a married man, right? You have a family of your own. So maybe that's the dream, Julio's dream. What about the rest of the family? I don't want to, say something that it is not correct, but I just want to know, is it becoming a family thing? You're all living the same dream, or sometimes they feel that they are dragged from one place to another?
Yeah, it's a very good question, Samar. Listen, I think, and let's separate the family between my partner and the children, right? So with my partner, it is a big commitment from her side, and I'm really blessed that she is super committed to that as I am, and she loves as much as I love. When we met the first time was when I was living the first time in Germany, and when we met and we decided to stay together, she knew what was waiting for us, right? So it was a conscious decision on her side that would be the life we chose. Yes. Now, with the kids is a different story because the kids, they had no
Absolutely.
option, right? So what we try to do with the kids, of course, is to show to them, again, the benefits and the upsides of this type of life we have. Of course, as I'm experiencing now, my oldest one, she's 12. And then what we see is it's getting slightly difficult to move. As you know, they get to that, as they approach the teenager phase, they start to have their friends, and then they feel more connected to people, more connected to the place. And I think then every time we have to move, it starts to become increasingly difficult. On the other hand, they were born like this and they grew up like this, so they don't know anything different from that. So they got used to that as well. So I think it's going to be a balancing act moving forward on how we're going to manage the kids. And then again, making sure that, to your point, Samar, they don't feel dragged, right? I hope they also come on board and they enjoy as much as we do. I'm sure we'll find a way to manage and we'll find a compromise if it's needed.
Okay, since we are in the area of negotiation in the living room, not the meeting room, how Julio, the multicultural leader, negotiate with the family? Should we stay or should we go? What is the dynamics of decision making and negotiation and persuasion? Do you think, especially the coming period, you brought that you have almost a teenager. So how you're going to take this forward? It needs actually some persuasion and negotiation, maybe it would be harder than the meeting room. So how do you think you will both manage that?
Yeah, and that's where it's great that we can always bring your professional experiences into your personal life and vice versa.
Yes.
And that I steal from my professional experience, right? So in marketing, like we were talking about, what I love about it, it's about understanding your consumer, right? Understanding your target audience, knowing how they behave, and to each type of triggers and types of activities they respond. I bring that the same concept to my family, right? I try to know extremely well my children, what they like, what are the preferences, and how they think. And every time we know that there is a move that's coming, I try to, again, play into their preferences. I try to play into what they like, the things that I know they're going to be looking for into the new change, right, where we are moving to. And I try to, little by little, try to bring them on board by showing the positive side of the change, what they're going to win with the new place, and etc. So that's how I do, right? I know my audience. I know what they're going to be looking for. I know the questions I'm going to get when they say we have to move. So I try, again, in anticipating, have that well prepared and making sure that I'm scoring some points in the things that they look forward, so I can sell that change as effectively as I can.
How is the kids are reacting regarding the conformity of the UAE?
They're doing well. They're doing very well. I think the beauty of the UAE is it's such a multicultural place. You don't really feel a foreigner here. And they are adapting extremely well. I think they really appreciate the safety, the how well we structure is the UAE. And they really love being around the people from everywhere. They enjoy a lot. And I think this is also something very unique here in the UAE, is how really inclusive the country is. I think a lot of places that I've been, they claim to be inclusive, but I've never been to a place that is as inclusive as here. So it is fascinating. For example, here where we live, we have a lot of Indian neighbors, and it was amazing to see when they had the Diwali festival, all the celebration, inviting the neighbors. We attended a couple of the celebrations, was amazing. And it's widely celebrated across the city. When we have then Christmas, I was very surprised as well, being a predominantly Muslim country, the amount of Christmas decoration, Christmas markets all over, right? So I think it's fascinating that the country that really embraces different culture and celebrate the culture, right? It's not just accepting the different cultures. They do celebrate, they participate, and everything happens in perfect harmony. So I think kids have been growing and learning so much since we arrived here, and they're very happy with that.
Fantastic. Let me take you back 13 years ago. 13 years ago in your career, you became a GM, a general manager, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, was that in Indonesia or Germany?
Indonesia.
Okay. So it's a Muslim country. It's a totally different country, have lots of nuances. And also then you went to Germany for the first time. I mean, you're Brazilian. Okay, and Germany and Indonesia are so different. So what was your culture shock being a general manager for the first time in a Muslim country, and your also position and your culture shock in a very, different European country as Germany?
Yeah. So let me start with Germany, because that's the one that happened first.
Okay.
I tell you, my biggest culture shock was how direct people are.
Yes.
And again, I come from Latin America, from Brazil. And in Latin America, people, it's a very sensitive culture and very emotional culture. And people is always worried about hurting the feeling of other people. So people avoid, by all means, to give bad news. People are not direct at all. They try to go around and give the message in between the lines because, again, they don't want to hurt the person, right? And somehow the lines between professional life and personal life are more blurred because people worry so much more about the people. They're not very objective many times. So that's Latin America. That's where I come from. That's where I grew up. You go to Germany, it's brutal, right? It's very direct. It's very objective. If they like, they tell you straight on your face they like. If they don't like, they tell, again, they don't like. So I think that was the biggest shock, is to have that very direct, sometimes even brutal environment at work where people were speaking their mind without really measuring the words. Again, not being disrespectful for anything like that, but being very hard from a business point of view. And it was a shock for me because, again, coming from Latin America, you take it very personal, right? You say, oh, it's very personal. And there was an episode, Samar, I remember very well. I think it was a couple of weeks after I arrived in Germany, I had this presentation. And I was in the meeting room and presenting, and there was this guy there, and he was giving me such a hard time and pushing very hard and asking a lot of tough questions and putting me in a very uncomfortable situation. And by the time I finished the presentation, I'm saying, I'm going to kill this guy, right? Why he's speaking on me? And 5 minutes later, he comes to me and say, oh, do you want to go for lunch? And I said, I want to kill you. I don't want to go for lunch, right? I went for lunch. The guy was such a nice person. I mean, very different, right? But again, it's because they know extremely well how to separate things, right? So one thing is what he was doing there was pure business driven. He was actually asking the right questions and doing his job. But again, coming from Latin America, we mix up everything, right? So for me, that was the biggest lesson, if you like, is to learn how to separate the professional life to your personal life, and understanding that, yes, at business, you can be tough, you can be very objective and direct. Right. But it's nothing personal, right? How
about time? I mean, you're Brazilian, we are from the UAE, fluid time. I mean, how did you really work around, the discipline of being exactly on time? Even if you're going for a dinner party, you go on time.
Yes.
There's no even courtesy of what we call it, the 5 minutes late courtesy, it's just on time.
Yeah, that took me a little bit of effort, but at least this one I knew, Samar. I think the piece about the Germans being very good on time, or the Europeans in general, right? The Swiss are the same. This one I knew, right? It was something that I was aware and I was kind of prepared for, and I try my best. And I think I managed quite well to be on time as most of the time. But I think the other pieces were more of a shock because I didn't know it was coming.
Okay, so let's have some fun. In Culture Capsule, we have something called Know Your Official Sources. Always we ask our residents and our nationals, when you get a piece of information, no matter how you see that it's a very important piece of information, make sure it's coming from reliable sources, right? So I got some information about you today, okay? And I'm not going to reveal my sources. However, I have the original source, you. It's about your leadership style. So would you kindly let me know if this is true or false?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
With transparency. Ready for me?
Yes, ready.
Okay. Is it true when you arrived to the UAE, you made a point to your assistant to meet every single person in your office personally, not only to understand their professional roles, but also to learn a bit about them as human beings and as individuals?
Super true.
Okay, so what is that? The whole office, Julio? The whole office?
Yeah, listen, like I say...
How did you find the time?
Yeah, so listen, like I explained before, Samar, it's very important that you know the people, right? When you are in a leadership position, it's extremely important that you know the people you are working with. I'm also the type of person that I get energy from people. I get energy from being around people. And it feels quite awkward for me when you arrive in a new place, you go around, you say good morning to people, people reply, and you don't even know who they are, right? You don't know their name, you don't know their story, you don't know where they come from. So I was really intrigued by knowing the people, right? I really want to know people from a personal, because again, I think despite the place you work, what type of business you are in, I really believe that what makes the organization are the people. And you cannot drive effectively and lead effectively the organization if you don't know your employees. So that's why I took the time, and it took me a couple of months, as you can imagine, until I could speak to everyone. But yes, it was a 15 minutes catch up, very informal conversation, no business agenda at all. And I can tell you, my mind blew away the richness of the culture we have in the office. We literally have people from all around the world, all walks of life, some of the people with the most fascinating life stories you can imagine. And it was just such a pleasure to know them a little bit more as a person, understanding a little bit where they come from, what they like, what they don't like, and etc. And I think that's great because it also created that safe environment for them to tell me when they are not happy with something. I think one of the reasons why I also managed to get good information and good feedback from the team is because I was able to create that safe environment, create that connection with the people. And now they are not afraid, right? They don't shy away. If there's something that's not working, if there's something that's bothering them, they will speak their mind, which I'm extremely grateful for, because only if I know what's happening, I can then take action and help to improve things.
That's amazing. That's really true leadership. Okay, ready for the second one?
Yeah, sure.
And the last one, I promise, just two. The rest I will, save for some other time. But what is the daily tour ritual?
Yes. Yeah, so listen, like I say to you.
What is the daily tour ritual, Julio?
Like I say, I love when I get energy from the people, right? So the first thing I do when I arrive in the office, I grab a coffee and I do my daily tour. And my daily tour is very simple, Samar. I just walk around the office and I talk to whoever is there, right, on the office floor. And again, no business agenda. I just say, how are you? How was the weekend? How did you do? And what did you think about this? Did you see that news? And it's such an amazing opportunity for me, again, to be connected with the people, know what they're thinking, know what's happening, and get a lot of feedback from the teams. And again, continue to develop that connection and that relationship with the employees. So that's my daily tour. It's a ritual I do every day when I arrive in the office. It's fantastic. Every day. Sometimes my assistant is chasing me around because I took too long on my tour and I have people waiting for meetings. And she says, "Where are you? Your meeting is started." I say, "I'm running back," right? I get distracted.
I bet she's so much in shape now after you came to the UAE.
Yes.
All right. Wow, that's really something. All right. Let's move to the subject of the hour. We cannot have any kind of a discussion, conversation, blah, blah, without bringing up AI. So tell me, do you use some tools in your line of work or not? And which platform do you prefer? Because, we know here, and I wrote articles before about what the UAE use. And so tell me about your AI experience.
Yeah, listen, I think we are still learning, right? I'm still learning. I have done a couple of online courses in terms of prompt engineering, so I can use more effectively the generative AI. At the organization, we are at the Microsoft platform, and therefore we have access to Copilot. So that's the one we use. And I do use every day, right? It is an amazing tool. I use it a lot to organize my agenda. I use it a lot to make summary of my emails. What are the key things I need to reply back? So it really works like a beautiful virtual assistant that help us to increase productivity. We do have across the organization several work streams that looking at the usage of AI in different departments, in marketing, in business analytics, and etc. And I think the organization is super vested on continue to evolve the usage of AI. I think, Samar, AI is one of those things that is here to stay. And I know that a lot of times there is this discussion about, is AI good or AI bad? Mm-hmm. I think the AI is going to be what we decide to do with the tool. For me, AI, it's here to stay and you have no option. I think all of us, we're going to have to learn how to use AI. And honestly, I don't think AI is going to be doomsday scenario that AI is going to replace all the workforce in the planet. But I do believe that if you want to join the workforce in the future, and if you are not literate in AI, if you don't know how it works, if you don't know how to use and how to leverage AI to make your work more effectively, you're going to be left behind, right? Mm-hmm. So, and that's why I really applaud the vision here in the UAE when we see the mandate for kids at school to learn how to use AI. So I think it's absolutely the right thing. It's a tool. It's a tool that can help improve productivity, and we all should be using how to learn and how to take the most out of it.
Thank you. Thank you for this reassurance. Okay, we'll move now to something, of course, we cannot ignore during these hard times that UAE is going through. It's periods of uncertainty, and we cannot ignore it. So now we need strong leadership, and it's crucial. So did you change any of your leadership styles or add more to it in moments like this?
Yeah, listen, absolutely, Samar. I think, for exceptional circumstances, sometimes you need to adapt and flex your style a little bit. I honestly have been very impressed and inspired by the leadership here in the United Arab Emirates, how they are dealing with the entire situation. And I do believe there is a lot that we can learn. I'm doing three things, right? There are three key things for me, very important in times like this. One is about communication. Relentless, reassuring communication beats perfect information. I think when you have centralized communication instead of fragmented voices around the organization, it does help to make sure that we are going to the right direction. Very important, and I think you have heard that as well, fact-based updates to the team rather than speculation. That's why we keep reinforced to stick to the official communication channels. We know there is a lot of speculation, a lot of fake news going in WhatsApp groups and etc. And repetition of the core message to build confidence, right? Sometimes I get the team together just to repeat the same message. It's not that I have anything new to say, but it's important to keep that flow of communication. Sometimes when you don't say anything, it just creates anxiety, right? People say, oh my God, are they thinking about us? Where is the leadership? So I think having that constant contact and reinforcing the communication, even if it's to reinforce the same message, helps to build confidence in the team. So I think it's extremely important. The second one is visible leadership. I think a lot of the people are working and looking at their leaders right now, not only what they say, but especially how they behave. And I think, again, referring to the leadership here in this country, it's amazing to see how calm they behave themselves, how centered they are despite everything that is happening. You can see them going around the town, visiting different places, having iftar at restaurants and malls. So it's impressive. So I think being present and being visible as a leader is extremely important. How we show up during this time of uncertainty means a lot to build credibility. Like you say, unfortunately, I'm not being able to walk the floor right now because everybody's working from home. But I'm making sure I'm attending every single call that we have connecting with the people. And again, the team and the people are going to be watching how we behave more than our words, right? So the body language, how you show up, how stressed or calm you show yourself in the meetings and in the calls are extremely important. And I think the last one, which is equally important, is strategic restraint, right? And it's fascinating because I see a lot of people saying, well, why the UAE is not giving a different response, why they are not fighting back, and etc. And again, it speaks volumes to the amazing leadership in this country, right? restrain the emotions, making sure you don't take irreversible decisions in times of crisis is extremely important. And I always say you need to be able to separate what is urgent, what is an urgent decision versus an irreversible decision. That's extremely important. Slow down when the stakes are permanent, because you don't want to make a decision that you cannot go back. And again, I think you need to avoid to let your emotions and your ego take over and react to the external pressure. Take your time to think through, because there is a lot of stakes right now, and you need to make sure that whatever decision you make, you're not going to regret later. So I think for me, those are the three key points I'm trying to focus now. And again, a lot of that inspired by watching the great leadership in this country in action.
Is your company taking any kind of steps regarding well-being programs, support during time of uncertainty? Do employees, are they entitled to have any kind of help at this time?
Absolutely. So we do have an employee supporting program, which is a hotline 24/7 that the employees can reach out for, especially when we talk about psychological and mental health. You're always going to find someone qualified on the other side of the line to provide adequate support. We are also allowing employees to take leave if they want. So they can take leave if they need to take care of the family, if they need to take care of the kids, so they can do that as well. And then, of course, like I say, Samar, we have everybody working from home right now. We also have another benefits. We are taking care in terms of advancing payroll, giving additional financial support for people in times like these. If people decide to leave the country because they don't feel safe, we are also supporting voluntary temporary relocation, right? And we support them with the logistics and etc. So we are giving all the support we can in terms of tools, in terms of employee assistance programs to help the people to go the best way possible through this difficult time.
Thank you for your clarity and your transparency. That was really very important information. And to you, Julio, I would like to say the way we choose to spend our time defines who we are. So thank you very much for spending this time with us. Stay safe. And to my audience and my listeners, I would like to say thank you for your time too, and see you soon in another episode of Culture Capsule.
Thank you for having me, Samar. It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.